ตัวละครพฤติกรรมสถานที่หน่วยงานวิชาชีพและเหตุการณ์ต่างๆในซีรีส์เรื่องนี้เป็นเรื่องสมมุติที่สร้างขึ้นเพื่อความบันเทิงเท่านั้นโดยมิได้มีเจตนาชี้นำหรือส่งเสริมการกระทำใดๆที่เกิดขึ้นในเรื่องโปรดใช้วิจารณญาณในการรับชม
รางวัลอีกกลัวเลยไม่ใช่นี่ก็รางวัลอีกเหมือนกันไอ้เจยังไม่หมดนะ
มึงชมตัวเองเหอะพ่อมึงอะทำให้กูกล้าพูด
แล้วมีรางวัลปะ
ก็มึงแม่งสันดานเสียต้องแกล้งกูอยู่นั่นสิ
ก็ตอนนั้นกูไม่รู้ใจตัวเองอะแค่อยากให้มึงสนใจเองเรื่องที่มันผ่านไปแล้วก็ให้มันแล้วไปเถอะเรามาเริ่มต้นกันใหม่ดีกว่านะตอนนี้กูรักมึงมากด้วย
กูรู้แล้วพูดอยู่นั่นแหละ
ก็ถ้ามันมีคำอื่นมากกว่านี้ก็คงใช้มันอะ
อย่าเลี่ยนมากได้ปะ
เพราะมันจริงอะ
ทำไร
แน่
ผู้ชายต้องมีสัญญาณนะจ๊ะถ้าเป็นสัญญาณเป็นจุ๊บแก้มดีกว่าจุ๊บแก้ม
Hello viewers, welcome back to my YouTube channel Rocks Entertainment. Today we are talking about the new episode of Head to Head episode 13. And episode 13 began with an atmosphere that is already heavy with tension, rivalry and emotion that are not fully understood by the characters themselves. What makes this episode particularly strong is the duality. While people on the outside keep saying these two cannot stand each other, everything on screen suggests for the opposites. An undeniable pull, courtesy, and unfinished business that neither of them admits. The episode opened the morning after a highly intense encounter from the previous episode. Both male leads wake up their respective dorm room, pretending that nothing happened. However, the storytelling makes it clear that both are thinking about the same moment. One stared at the ceiling, replying last night's conversation. The other keeps checking his phone, scrolling through messages that never intend to send. The theme here is silence. Silence becomes the language between them. They don't talk, yet everything speaks. When they arrive at campus, they go separate ways, determined, do not acknowledge each other. However, the story clearly used secondary character to expose what they try so hard to hide. Their friends notice. Why are they avoiding eye contact? Why are they acting restless? Why are they quieter than usual? Their friend makes jokes, assuming that they had a fight. Ironically, the audience know there was not a fight. There was something much more confusing. Vulnerability. The rest of college is buzzing because rumor had already started spreading. Some claim the two are enemies, others say they are secretly closer than they admit. The drama played with contraction, adding both humor and tensions. Later, a teacher assigned them to work in a special project together. It is related to a student presentation event that will take place on. Both of them protest at the same time, saying, "Anyone else would be fine, just not them. But the teacher refuses, insisting that they are the most suitable fairy. This is a classic push from the narrative to make progress. They are forced into the same space again. Inside the empty coaching room, the awkwardness is suffocating. One sides on the far left, other sides in the far right. Fluffing books just to avoid any form of conversation. A long silence follows, so long that even the viewer can feel it. Eventually, the one who is less stubborn breaks the silence. We cannot work like this. His voice is low, tired, and almost defeated. The other hesitated before nodding. It may not be reconciliation, but it acknowledgments. A soft banter returned a small step forward. They began to exchange a short sentence about the work. It could have paused, but gradually the partner returned, teasing, sarcasm, the familiar rhythm that almost feel like a home for them. The viewers can sense something important here. They do not function well separately, they function well together. The project meeting continues longer than it should. None of them complain. This reveals they don't actually hate each other. They are just scared of what being close means. Mid-episode, they narrate you to a flashback. These flashbacks show short memory from previous episode. The first time they teamed up, the sports competition, the moment one secretly depended to the other, the arguments that was not really an argument. The narrator asks indirectly, when did distance become trust? When did rivalry become courtesy? The episode never answers, but there's the beauty of it, leaving the audience to decide. Just as things start to get warm between the two, a new character enters, interrupting the atmosphere. He greets one of them enthusiastically and completely ignores the other. He places his arm around him in a friendly but overly familiar way. Suddenly, the room temperature changes. Jealousy enters silently. The viewer notices before the character notices. The ignored character becomes stiff as the expression darkness. He pretends he doesn't care, but the scene is too transparent. The other notices but fly along, which intensifies the jealousy. This moment is critical because it shifts their dynamic from rivalry to possessiveness, subtle but powerful. Outside the room, classmates observe them and whisper, "See, they don't even look at each other. Told you they cannot get along." This line becomes the episode irony. Everyone thinks they hate each other. Meanwhile, jealousy proves otherwise. Later, the jealousy one pulled the other aside near the stairwell. The corridors is quite isolated and perfect for real conversation. He asked, "Since when are you close to him?" The other looks surprised because it's the first time he has heard jealousy in his voice. Instead of answering directly to his smile, "Why do you care?" The jealousy one goes silent, looking away, clenching his jaw. He refused to admit anything, but the silence answered for him. This becomes one of the strongest character scenes in this episode. The atmosphere shifts as I finally speak. "I just don't want unnecessary trouble. That's all." A weak excuse, obviously, but it's the only excuse and he can handle. "I am response." The other stepped closer enough for attention to be felt through the screen. He whispers softly, "The top running every time get royal." This line exposed. Later, the jealousy won't fool the other side near the stairwell. The corridor is quite isolated and perfect for real conversation. He asks, "Since when are you close to him?" The other looks surprised because it's the first time he has heard jealousy in his voice. Instead of answering directly, he smiles. "Why do you scare?" The jealousy on goes silent, looking away, clenching his jaw. He refuses to admit anything, but he the answer for him. They become one of the strongest characters seen in this episode.
The atmosphere shifts as I finally speak. I just don't want unnecessary trouble. That's all. A weak excuse, obviously, but it's the only excuse he can handle. And in response, the other step close to any. For the tension to be felt through the skin, he whispers softly. The storm browning every time thing gets real. This line had deep expose anything fear at messy confusions. Just when the audience expect a confession or at least clarity, the moment interrupted again by a fellow student scaling their names loudly from down the street. They immediately step back, breaking distance, and the spell is gone. They walk off pretending nothing happened, but the viewers know the moment changed something. With their friends, they act normal, joking, eating, laughing, pretending, but their eyes keep wandering across the table of each other. Our friend caused these moments. It is a void seeing you two not fighting today. The whole table laugh, but they both fall silent. Fighting used to be their way you communicating, now they don't know how. Near the end of the fight, both end up walking along the same quiet path at nights. By coincidence of fates, neither speak at first. The silence built different hemtides, soft calm. Finally, one of them speaks. Did you really mean what you said earlier? The viewers expect clarity, but before the other can reply, another student interrupt again, calling from them away from school authority. The episode refused to give answer, passing the relationship to spiral slowly. Final end of this episode, a small but symbolic moments. One of them looks back while walking away, checking if the other is still there. The other stays standing hands and protect, watching him leave. No dialogue, no confession, but everything is allowed without word. The narrator or echo the titles of this series head to head, but maybe not in the way everyone believes. This part of episode 13 because and rivalry evolve into interaction, jealousy, silence, courtesy, or disagreement is anymore. A rumor was a label, tension without label. The narrative intentionally slowed it down the let viewer feel instead of just watch. So if you enjoyed this episode recap, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for more.